Welcome to Career Tipper Podcast, hosted by Michele Badie. The Career Tipper Podcast is a motivational resource that shares career and entrepreneurial tips by industry experts that will help amazing people evolve to their professional best. And now your host, Michele Badie.
Welcome to the 53rd episode of the Career Tipper Podcast, a year in review. I'm your host, Michele Badie, professional development author and coach. Cheers. Career Tipper Podcast just completed its first year of helping amazing professionals evolve to their professional best. Here's some trivia about Career Tipper. It's a professional development resource that originally launched as a career affirmations iPhone app. Next, I kicked off the blog, accepted professional speaking engagements, continued career coaching, and later published a book. In passing at a blogging event, I received a suggestion from a fellow blogger to transition the platform into a podcast. Becoming a podcaster was not on my original agenda for Career Tipper. However, I am glad that I took heed to the recommendation. My first podcast was The Confidence Conversation. After 22 episodes with phenomenal guests, I ended the podcast due to the imposter syndrome getting the best of me. A year later, relaunching the podcast was consistently in my thoughts, primarily because of the Career Tipper followers and supporters. They kept asking when a new episode would publish. I placed the reason for the new episode delay on me relocating to a new city and adjusting to a new role. In my heart of hearts, I knew the real reason was fear. How ironic. The same lack of confidence mindset that I was helping professionals dismiss while pursuing their professional aspirations and goals had tiptoed into my psyche and got to me. I want to thank my followers and supporters that have downloaded my app, read the blog, attended one of my seminars, purchased my book, shared a resource, sent words of encouragement, or listened to either podcast. I'm grateful for each of you and thank you for helping me to reconnect my confidence to keep developing this platform that has assisted professionals in an array of industries plan, execute, and accomplish their career goals. After rebranding the podcast and relaunching, I was confident that my guests would engage well and their shared knowledge during each episode would help professionals like yourself explore professional development resources, plan a career transition, learn of a new career path or industry, or receive some career motivation. My primary goal for the first year of the podcast was to produce 52 episodes consistently with no breaks, which occurred. I'm delighted that the guests were a diverse population of seasoned professionals in a mixture of industries. I'm grateful to have interviewed guests throughout the United States. Some guests were based in South Korea, Panama, and the United Kingdom. The same caliber of guests will continue into year 2. Year 1 ended with cheering hands in the air by being chosen as one of the podcasts to listen to in 2019 by a woman empowerment nonprofit organization, Women on the Rise Orlando. When reviewing the annual stats of the podcast, I was pleasantly surprised to learn of the top 5 episodes for the first year. Check them out and let me know your takeaways. If the episode positively resonates with you, share on social media. Okay, here are the top 5 episodes. Number 5, Workplace Wellness with Erin Broder. She shared strategies and mindsets on how to practice workplace wellness. A healthy workplace is one where individuals feel valued, supported, provided a positive workspace, and shows respect for other aspects of a person's life. Number 4, Medical Billing and Coding with Dr. Shelley Safian. She shared her insight on how to advance in the medical coding industry and stay on track with the latest related industry developments. Number 3, Career Accountability with Nicole Webb. She spoke about how to make your next career move your best move by sharing intentional actions and mindset practices to help to keep yourself accountable for your career. Number 2, Soft Skills with Liz Potner. She talks about the importance of developing your soft skills on an ongoing basis. Number 1, Salary Negotiation with Ashley Kirkwood. She shared her perspective on how to master salary negotiation. Past year, the podcast shared a wealth of knowledge, created networking opportunities amongst guests and followers, and motivated listeners to ignite a new focus to create a plan on how they are going to keep their skills recharged in a workforce that is being transformed by technology and artificial intelligence daily. If you haven't already, please listen to episode 45, Skills Recharged, and episode 50, Define Your Skills. If you plan on being employed 5 to 10 years from now, go to signup.skillsrecharged.com and download the free Skills Recharged guide that I created with you in mind to assist you in determining your strategy on how you are going to remain hire ready through experience. My goodness, the podcast has gifted me many professional development lessons over the past year. Some are repeated lessons, masked in a new way that resonated with me. 1, choosing to be a continual learner on an ongoing basis. Continuing to learn industry trends and researching questions from listeners and followers has ushered me to connect with professionals I most likely would have never communicated with otherwise. That has not only changed my perspective of life, but in business. 2, an expanded understanding of the importance to actively listen has led me to challenge fellow career coaches and professional development advocates to join my efforts and add their voice to the Skills Recharge narrative to help increase awareness of the need to create short-term and long-term plans for keeping your non-automated soft and technical skills recharged. My 3rd lesson is the importance of keeping your promises to yourself. As we all know, life is full of shifts, planned and unplanned. There is empowering magic in dreams and goals confirmed when you keep your promises to yourself, to finish what you start and staying committed to living your best life. Career Tipper has been one of the best forms of professional development for me for both my soft and technical skills. There is power in being consistent and beauty and personal growth that lasts far longer than the sought-after reward sometimes. My 4th and final lesson, find peace in being uncomfortable. When was the last time you did something for the first time? Trying something new can be demonstrated in many facets. I'm learning to code. I have talked about learning this skill for a while now. Of equal importance, I wanted to practice what I'm encouraging each of you to do. At least 30 minutes daily or a few days a week, become consistent in your efforts to learn a new skill. Instead of only talking about the need or desire to learn something new. Coding is introducing me to a new way of thinking and birthing creative ideas. Big or small actions of challenging or exploring beyond your norm are cultivating creativity. Creativity is an in-demand soft skill and usually strengthened through new adventures. Thank you in advance for continuing this podcast journey with me. Best wishes for another year together, evolving to our professional best by learning from each other, others, and increasing our accountability and actions to keeping our skills recharged. Let's stay in touch. I continue to welcome your guest and resource suggestions. You can find me, Michele Badie, at CareerTipper.com and on Facebook and Instagram at CareerTipper and on Twitter at CareerTipper1. Please continue to listen and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and Stitcher Radio. If you enjoyed this episode or any other episode, please leave a 5-star review on iTunes. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Career Tipper Podcast. We're grateful for our listeners and guests. For more resources about how to evolve to your professional best, share your comments and feedback about this episode and your suggestions for future guests, visit careertipper.com. Until next time, be confidently you.